boat. We were out in like St. Clair Shores.
Nice.
So got a chance to just go out there and just enjoy the water, have
Living
some
your
good
best
time.
life. Smoke some
You know,
stoogies.
If any cigar labels want to sign me as a model, feel free to reach out.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But no, it was a good time. I had fun. What about you?
I was up in Traverse City. Friend
Okay.
has a lake house out there, so same thing, just chilling in the water, doing my thing, drinking, relaxing. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good to be back. Michigan's a good place to celebrate the 4th, that's for sure. A lot of good shit. Man, I mean, we've been off for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Back like we never left.
Yeah, man. I mean, we did episode 50, and then I was out of town for a little bit, but here we are, man. We got so much to fucking go over. Like,
it's a lot. It's
So many
lot.
moving players. I mean, it's
a lot.
I mean, we
players out here getting their bread.
They are, bro. It seems like every year more so. The contracts just get more ridiculous every year in a good way.
Man.
But
yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably start with your man, your boy.
The Slim Reaper. The Slim Reaper.
What was your thoughts when you first heard that? Were you just like, what the fuck?
I was shocked. I definitely was shocked because it came right after Kyrie, opted into his contract. But I think part of it was just because I think part of it was just the fact that he didn't get like a long-term deal with the Nets, which I don't expect for that to happen. I didn't expect for that to happen, but it was just weird to kind of see that happen, especially after I felt like the Nets like made some moves that I felt could be useful, like that signing of like Royce O'Neal. I thought was very helpful as like a long defender that can shoot threes, and then you add it to having like a Ben Simmons. So I felt like they were making moves to kind of really improve things for next year. And then Kevin just dropped that damn ball on us, just dropped a fucking bomb, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Right? Yeah, I was absolutely shocked, man. It was if you would have told me, like, I just look at it from the Nets, the timeline. It's like they were nothing 4 years ago. And then they got Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and we're probably just like, thank God, like, hallelujah, we're like a powerhouse now. And James Harden later the next year. And then, like, to now, like, that's so deflating to be in that Nets organization.
And you think about it, ever since that toe.
Yep.
Ever since that toe on that 3-point line, it's just been
disaster.
Downhill. It's been just downhill. You know what I mean? And like, you literally believe that like if those injuries don't happen to Kyrie and James last year, they would have more than likely won that championship. So it just really kind of put just a very glaring thing, and just like how important like availability is, and how important just being healthy at the right time is, because that completely changed the whole trajectory of that organization to where now it's imploding.
It is, dude. And you're right. Like, it's weird because now, so more than ever, I don't have confidence in teams. Like, even if they're stacked like that, it's like, well, you don't know. Like, anything can happen throughout the season, man. Like, having a name full of rosters is one thing, but like, they need to prove that they can actually, make it there and stay healthy and click and all that shit. Like that. I don't know.
And the thing is, like, I don't blame KD for wanting to leave, to be honest with you, because he's like, look, this is too much. It's just too much bullshit going on, and the stuff is out of my control. I need to go somewhere where the goal is to win a championship, right? And to really kind of optimize these last couple of years, of his time playing, and kind of, with being in a little bit of his prime, optimize that as best as possible. And so I don't blame him for leaving. And I know this is, I've been struggling with the fact that like some people were saying that like him leaving because of Kyrie, and I don't know if I buy into that wholeheartedly.
I mean, I think they're still boys, but
like I still really think that they're friends. I think so with this whole Kyrie situation, like the thing that really strikes me with all of this is that everyone wants to put this blame on Kyrie. Like Kyrie didn't go and get the vaccine, and I don't know if that's really the issue here, right? Because there were other players in the league that were playing that still don't have the vaccine. If I'm not mistaken, Bradley Beal still doesn't have the vaccine, but he's allowed to play because of the market that he plays in. It was really New York City and their guidelines that really kind of spotlighted Kyrie indirectly, and he was just standing his ground on his beliefs. So I feel like Kyrie ended up becoming like a bit of a scapegoat in this, and like he's not being a team player, he's not doing this, and it was like it's tough.
It is.
It's a really tough situation.
I'm with you definitely as far as this year. I mean, the vaccine, that's his choice and whatever. I think we've talked about that before, but it's just the thing is since he's left Cleveland, he just statistically has not been available though. That's like a fact. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the last 3 seasons, no matter what it was. So that's where it just gets interesting. And I wonder if that played a factor in KD's decision was like, I don't know if like I can, regardless of the vaccine situation, like rely on Kyrie to be there for me 50 plus games during the regular season and the postseason, more importantly, Yeah. So this is the weirdest, most significant, probably like trade asset in NBA history, I'd say, right? I mean, have we ever seen a player of this caliber ready to be traded where he doesn't have a no trade clause, so he can go anywhere. Yep. And it's 4 years. So that puts small market teams in play because it's not like a 1 year thing like Kawhi where they're worried about like he's just going to leave. Like, so this is really interesting.
It's really insane, man, to think about like, and teams are willing to like throw everything that they can at you. What's the interesting thing is that like some of these teams that he wants to go after, or some of the things that may really be interested, there's limitations to it because the Nets have Ben Simmons on the team, and he's on that rookie, like that's rookie extension, that extended contract where it's kind of like a rookie supermax. You can't have 2 of those players on your roster. So like that really puts things in a really tough bind for like Miami that may have potentially thrown in like Bam Adebayo into that because he's on the same type of contract as Ben Simmons is, right? Or who else did he mention? Like Phoenix maybe, but if like Ayton were to sign that contract, which I don't know if he's gonna even get it, they can't do it. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what's gonna happen.
That one bothers me though, because I'm in Phoenix, so trust me, like I'm hearing it everywhere. Like that's the buzz. Like we're getting KD, but these motherfuckers are so unrealistic, bro. Like I don't think people are understanding. Like I'm tired of hearing like, Ayton, Bridges, whoever else, like these little. I'm like, this is Kevin Durant, bro. Like if I'm the Nets, you're giving me Devin Booker, and I know the Suns aren't going to do that, so we got nothing to talk about. Like this is Kevin Durant. If they don't receive the biggest haul we've ever seen, like. I'm not doing it if I'm the Nets. Like, well, why would I drag my feet and take anything less? This is Kevin fucking Durant, So, I say that and everyone here's like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to get Booker or give him Booker. And I'm like, okay, then you're not getting Kevin Durant. Like, I don't know why you think that Miles Bridges and DeAndre Ayton and some picks is worth. Do you remember what Paul George went for? I mean, it's like this is Kevin Durant. Like, unbelievable to me. And some of these people are just like, we're getting them. And I'm like, I don't think you are, but okay. It's going to be a haul, man. It's going to be an absolute
I'm really going to be interested to see. So there's been a lot of buzz around the fact that he could potentially go to Toronto, and Toronto has a really nice package that they could throw at him. So I'll be interested to see what that potential package is, and if he goes there.
Well, what's the package? What are they saying?
So, of course, you'll have to it's either got to be like Van Fleet or Pascal, right? And then you potentially throw in like Precious Achiuwa or OG Anunoby,
a bunch of picks,
and just some picks in there. So
interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. When I'm looking at it from the Nets perspective, I'm like, you need at least. I mean, there's not many superstars in the league, but you need at least like a high caliber all-star.
You need an all-star,
and then picks on picks. I don't know, maybe throwing in like other role players too, but Those are my two things. If I was in that, to be an all-star for sure, and then like probably like 4 first-round picks or something crazy like
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be a bit of a haul because, like you said, with the contract that he has,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, he doesn't have a no trade clause in the contract, so
Right.
like he's there. He's not going anywhere.
Right. Exactly.
So it's
and the
gonna be
Paul
quite
George thing
interesting.
set a precedent for it. It's like we just saw
Right.
what that was. So
Right. So it'll be, man. So the other rumor that's going around, and I'm sure you've heard it, is about like the Warriors are not out of this mix.
yeah, that's so crazy.
Right?
That's so crazy.
Like they have interest in bringing him back.
Which I don't blame him. Yeah.
I mean, why would you blame him?
Yeah.
But if you're Kevin Durant,
no, I don't
do
think
you want to go back to the Warriors?
No, it's not really his choice. So, like, I mean, I remember I texted you. We talked about that a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I said something like, "That's bullshit." But then it's like I realized, well, it's not really his choice. If he gets traded there, that has nothing to do with him. So I wouldn't blame him. But yeah, I would be pretty upset if I was Kevin Durant in that situation. You're kind of like being put back in that situation again against your will. Now we're gonna get crucified again for like this team could already win without you.
Now, what if there's some way? And somebody brought this up about him going back to OKC.
I saw that. I saw a tweet that was like funniest places the Nets could trade KD, like one and only one, Oklahoma City. I was like, bro, that would be hilarious.
I mean, they have a ton of picks that they can throw, and they have some players. The only thing is that they would need to add to that roster to make it work.
Yeah, you're right, because they have all those picks in the Paul George trade, and they've got young assets. I'm assuming you'd have to give up Shea.
Maybe not.
You don't think so? I mean,
maybe not. I mean, you got Holmgren that you can give up. They have like a lot of these younger draft picks that they could potentially give up and not have to give up Shea. Now, granted, teams, if you're the Nets, you're like, no, I want Shea. Like that's that. If I don't get anything else, I need that. But they have assets that they can throw at them, and like you said, a bunch of picks.
Yeah, the one that I just look at it, and I know he's been injury prone or whatever, but like again, my perspective on it is they need to go for more big name, like gets into like, what if it's a variation of like Anthony Davis straight up for Kevin Durant? I don't think they have any picks or anything like that, or maybe some more players.
The money wouldn't work because how much KD makes like 40-something million in this contract. AD does not. So
you're right. He's in the 20s.
They would have to throw in somebody else or throw in picks, which I don't even think is.
No, they got nothing. No.
Add to it, but I mean that would be.
That's just what I'm thinking. I feel like it's got to be like a big name like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are all right, and like they're gonna settle and just do like these little packages. But like,
I don't know if it's gonna be that as big of a name, but I know it's gonna have to be at least an all-star. Plus, like you said, like a role player or two with some draft picks. Like that's what I think is going to end up being the case. It's just a matter of like where.
I mean, no one's talked about this, so I don't even think it's a possibility. But I just have been like going over the teams, like even like LA, like Paul George straight up for Kevin Durant and some other stuff. Like I mean, like you know what I mean? KD with Kawhi, that'd be very interesting.
And John Wall, and like that would be a hell of a fucking move.
Is Washington in play? I mean, that's his hometown. They could do Bradley Beal and some other people. Like, I mean, it wouldn't
I don't know if they would. The thing is that I don't know if they would give up Bradley Beal, but it's like, who else can we potentially get? So I don't know. Because it's tough. It would have to be Bradley Beal, but it's like, okay, now who do you get to play with KD? Because he's really the only valuable asset there. All these other guys are just some minimal role players. So like, they would still have some work to do.
Yeah,
to really kind of round out that roster.
It's so interesting from everyone's perspective.
What's one aspect that I think could be potentially interesting if there's any thing? Well, actually, in Washington, they could maybe give up Porzingis, which I'm sure they wouldn't mind to give up for KD, and then throw in some other pieces in there. So Washington could potentially be if they can get Porzingis out of it. But I was thinking about this the other day around New Orleans.
That would be a good one too.
And getting Brandon Ingram.
Right. Or CJ.
Right. And then or CJ, and you throwing in some other what was that? K's in there and like some
Yeah.
like Jose Alvarado and like just throwing in some picks in there.
Yeah. I like that
And
one a
then you
lot.
get Zion with like that would be a really nice team.
I
Or they
like that
have
one.
a Valanciunas. You probably even throwing Valanciunas in there
Right.
with like that could be a really good
Right.
landing spot.
I gave you another one that I've been thinking about. Boston would be interesting too.
Boston
Whether
would
it's
be
Tatum or Jaylen Brown, whether which one of those, and then all their picks, like that would be very interesting to see how that would.
yeah. I can only see Boston giving up Brown though. I don't think that they would be willing to give up Tatum.
Just because
But
KD's at the end of his prime, like why do you think? You know what I mean? Like, because I think about
is
that too. So
that
many people are so willing to be like, same with the Booker thing. They're like, no, that's untouchable. But it's like I just think about, I'm like, it's Kevin Durant, bro. It's just like,
I know, but it's like Boston, and I think they learned with Ainge being it's like you don't want to um, for like give up your future for this present. Like you
mm-hmm,
really don't want to completely rid of that. Like if you can maintain Jason
mm-hmm,
Tatum and still give up maybe Brown and Marcus Smart and whatever else that kind of goes into that,
mm-hmm.
and still be able to maintain Tatum and bring along KD. Like, now the
That'd be
only thing
nuts.
if that happens is it's like then it's gonna come more of that same noise. Now, granted, he's not making this choice, but him getting sent to Boston, he's like, oh, well, he's going to a team that swept them. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a
Mm-hmm,
lot of that noise is gonna come up again.
mm-hmm. It probably would. I wouldn't hate him for it. Again, it's not his decision. Like Boston
Yeah,
clearly they made the finals, but they're not. I don't think they need something else to get over that hump. Like I don't think they're. You know what I mean? Like it
it's,
was different with the
I'm
Warriors. That was like a coin toss. Away from them winning that finals. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They had won the year before, so I was like, they definitely are like they can win championships. Like I don't know about Boston, so that would be
Yeah,
crazy.
there's some. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where this lands. Like I'm
When
very
do you think it
interested.
happens? Do you think this is going to happen in the next few weeks? Do you think this drags on to like when like
I think it's probably going to drag on probably into like when they're starting training camp. To be honest with you,
mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't
until like a
know.
team gets like desperate and it's like fuck it.
Yeah, throw the house at them
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean because the Nets don't have to trade him,
No, they don't. That's a good point.
and he has to play his contract, right? So like they don't have to trade him. But hell, they don't even have to trade Kyrie,
Mm-hmm. That is true
right?
too. He's another
So
one. I mean, that's a whole other thing. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers are actually in play there? Do you think that could happen? Like,
they said I've been hearing rumblings that like things with that discussion is getting really really close to something happening
mm-hmm,
with for him and Russ. It's just like what else is involved in that
mm-hmm.
conversation.
That'd be wild. And then what do you do with Russ? Like trade him, or do you, at that point, if he's still on the roster, do you just like buy him out? Like I don't know what you do. You can't have both of those guys on the team.
If KD's there, you would have to, but it's like, what do you trade him for? Like, what do you get for him?
Right. Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
I don't either. I want to think that's going to happen, mainly just because, like, the fan in me, I'd love to see Kyrie and LeBron play again, but, like, I don't know how close that actually is to happening. So it's interesting you're saying that you've heard that it's heating up.
Like, I'm hearing like that is going to happen within the next couple of weeks, from what I've been hearing.
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
LeBron's really
so
pushing for it. That's what I heard, which is interesting.
I mean, they were both at the summer league, and they were like they were sitting on like opposite ends of the fucking court.
Mm-hmm.
If that tells you anything, so I mean, this is going to happen. It's just when and what else is the Nets putting into? Well, yeah, what else is the Nets having to put into it? Because Kyrie doesn't make what Russ makes, so it's like what else are the Nets having to give up?
Yeah.
In order to make that happen.
Right.
Or it may have to be that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that contract is going to have to work. I'm sure that like the Nets or I shouldn't say the Nets, but it's like what are the Lakers going to have doing to like sweeten that deal
Mm-hmm.
to where the Nets are comfortable with taking that contract.
Yeah, man. These situations are so bizarre because usually, like, you never know what's going to happen, but like you can kind of put possibilities together. And then in these cases, with like we're saying these contracts and shit like that, this is one of those things where you look at it and it's like, I have no fucking clue how this is going to get worked out. Like something crazy is going to have to happen, you know? Like, this is a very interesting couple of months here, and we're going to see some like big names in new places start next season. So
we really are.
It's awesome.
But I'm excited for it, man. Like,
me too. This is exactly what was needed.
This is why, I mean, this is the reason why I love NBA free agency, though, because it's so much fucking drama, and it's never a lack of just entertainment, right? Of like, it keeps you interested in the NBA throughout the whole entire off season, bro. Like all these moves that are made, like everything gets swallowed up into what KD announced, but like there's been a crazy move that happened in like a trade that like has been dialed, like the noise of it has been dialed down because of what because of KD and Kyrie, but like the Jazz traded Gobert to the Timberwolves.
I don't like that trade.
I don't like it either. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't know how it worked. I don't either. I mean, it helps to put maybe Cat back into his more natural position of a power forward.
Is he naturally a forward?
Yeah.
But like, so bizarre.
I don't like it.
And Gobert's like, I'm not like a hater on him. Like, he's a great player, but we've seen the last 2 seasons, he's basically became unplayable in the playoffs. Like, they're just benching him. You know what I mean? Like, it's so. I don't know how teams are looking at that and being like, what the fuck are we gonna do with this guy? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. And then, I mean, granted, now it helps. It helps Minnesota because they're probably one of the weaker defensive teams. Like, they really couldn't stop a team from scoring last year, so like that can help on that end. But offensively, bro, I don't.
Yeah, that's going to be weird to see how the movement works. I don't get that either. And I'm really interested to see how, if they make it to the postseason, how that works. Because, again, I've watched the last 2 postseasons, like Gobert just be completely – I don't know why it's just switched in the postseason, but it's like they really started utilizing the high pick and roll more and, like, forcing him to come out. And then it got to the point where, like, they were literally benching him that last series. You know what I mean? Like, it was like they couldn't – it's like, you're not playable. You're not making free throws.
I mean, since Ty Lue in that Clipper series where they came back and he got exposed by Terrence Mann, like they were just ever since that series, bro. Like he down the stretch of games and stuff like that. That's what teams were attacking. Like, you're the defensive player of the year, fine, but you can't guard this high pick and roll.
Right. It'll be interesting, though, because, I mean, he's won multiple defensive players of the year. We know he's a good rim protector, so, like, it will help. But, like, I agree with you. Like, the movement of the offense is just going to be very weird now. Like, I don't know how they make that work, you know. What else? There's got to be people we're forgetting that move that we're not even talking about right now.
Well, John Wall's with the Clippers.
That is interesting. You know, and I'm a big John Wall fan. I know he hasn't been as good the last few years, like, coming back off injury, but, like, now that he's got 2 superstars in front of him, maybe we'll see.
You do know he was averaging like 5 and 6 last year.
He was? I did not know that. Did not know that. Nope.
Dude was balling last year. He only played like a couple, maybe 40 games, but dude was averaging like 20.
Okay. Wow. That is interesting. I saw a quote from him today, actually. I don't know if the quote was today, but I saw it today. He was like, just basically like, good luck. Like, the 3rd best defender on the team has to guard me now. Like, that's going to be crazy, you know?
It's tough. And you still have to think that they got Reggie Jackson, Batum, Morris.
And is Kawhi good to go? Like, is he greenlit for the start of the season?
It looks like it. So, yeah. I mean, you had that. Zion re-signed.
Yeah, man.
Fucking a 5-year, $193 million off of a dude that has played a season and a half.
Right. I mean, you got to give it to him.
It's insane, bro. But fucking Jokic, dog.
Yeah, what is that? The biggest deal in history?
That fucking deal. Jesus.
What was it again?
Deal, I'm trying to find it.
It was like 270 or something crazy like that.
Like, dude just got fucking paid 5-year, 264.
Yeah, that's so nuts. That's so
Jeez.
nuts, bro. How do you even have the motivation to like play after that contract's over? Like, I just don't get like that's so much money. Like, I just like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't do that.
It's saying Ja 4-year 226 on a max rookie. Booker
Yep.
4-year 224.
Yep.
Who else? Like just these dumbass. Lillard just did an extension on his contract, a 2-year 120.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty fucking crazy.
What? Like, come on, man.
Hey, they're an interesting one too. Like Portland, like as far as the KD situation, like I don't know if you could make that work to get him out there to play with him, or if you trade Dame for him. But like,
there's no way. There is no way they would give up Dame.
Well, whatever they got going on over there needs to be blown up because it's not working, and I feel bad for Dame. Let me say that.
Yeah,
like, just,
I mean, clearly he's sticking there. But like, I mean, they can definitely give up maybe Anthony Simons.
Yeah,
There's a nice little prospect. You throw him in there with like Nurkic and some draft picks, and they could you just got to figure out the rest of the roster.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That would take like another 5. I don't know how many picks they've got, but yeah, dude, I don't know. It's so crazy. That's so hard because like you're looking at it from the Nets, and it's like again, I want like a haul, and I'm like saying this, but it's like I don't know how realistic that is at the same time. Like I guess it depends on what everyone's willing to give. And then, like you said, they don't have to trade him, but I guess KD could do like the Harden route and just not play, you know? So I
don't see him being that type of. He's not.
I would hope not.
That type of person. He loves to play basketball, so I don't know if he.
Yeah,
he's that type of guy. But you know, with all this going on, then you got like the draft that went off. And so, what did you think about the draft?
I didn't expect the Duke guy to go first, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be Chet, but
yeah.
I really like Chet, man. That's going to be interesting to see how he works with Shea, assuming no one gets traded. He's probably who I'm most interested to watch. I watched what's the guy from Duke's name?
Pablo Banchero.
I mean, I obviously watched the tournament, and he I don't know, like he didn't like. I mean, what's your thought on it? I don't know if he stood out to me as like, yeah, he's the number 1 overall pick. He's good, but like,
yeah, he's pretty solid. And I think he's, as far as just like a ready NBA body and being able to maneuver, I think he probably was that individual. Outside of maybe like Keegan Murray, because Keegan Murray can fall his ass off.
Right.
But
I mean, is that the argument with Chet basically? Is that he's skinny and doesn't have an NBA body yet?
He's really like thin. And I think it's not about him adding bulk. It's just him gaining strength, right? So the strength doesn't have to be him just putting on all this bulk but it's just like he can be long and wiry and still be super strong. So I think he just has to work on like just doing that, because he's gonna have to. I mean, you think about it, he's gonna be banging in bodies with like the likes of like Jokic and AD and Gobert and Joel Embiid and Clint Capella and Drummond and Vucevic, like these big dudes, right?
Yep.
So I mean, you saw it in the summer league the other game when they played against Memphis, and Kenny Lofton Jr., who only about 6'6", 6'7", was just going at him and was just putting his body on him.
Yeah, I heard someone dunked on him.
Anything.
I didn't watch it, but
yeah, he got caught. So he's gonna have to find a way. Again, he don't have to. It's not about the bulk. It's just about the strength of him being able to hold his own. Like I feel like Joel just gonna bury him under the paint.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like players like that for sure. But I mean, he's so skilled. So hopefully he can get to a point where he gets that man body and he's,
Yeah, he's what, 19,
20
or something like that. So he's still relatively young. I thought it was going to either be Chet or Jabari Smith that were going to go first. But I mean, I think the reason why Chet didn't go first is because Orlando already has like a really long line of centers, right?
They do.
You have Wendell Carter Jr., you have Mo Bamba. Like you already have these long like defenders and everything already in place. They needed more scoring, and I think that's what Banchero can bring to them, is giving them some scoring. But you remember how you sent me that lineup of OKC and what they could throw out there?
They're long.
Like Orlando has almost like a similar thing, right? Because you got They got Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, Bamba, Wendell Carter. All those guys are at least like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
Think are skilled, right? So Orlando's could be pretty interesting to kind of see as they continue to like with their player development where they go. But I have to be honest, and I may be biased in this, but I really like what the Pistons did on draft day.
Mm-hmm.
And
that dude seems like committed to Detroit too. He's like bought in.
Yeah, like I mean, he has so many ties to Detroit from I think it's like his grandfather playing for the Lions. His dad or uncle played for I think it was Detroit Pershing. His mom was played off for the Shock. Like he grew up in the city or whatever. So I really liked Ivy. Jalen Duren is gonna be nice as a center, just strong and like has an NBA body and can really jump. I really just like what the Pistons did that night, and they were able to send what's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Who we traded
over to Jeremy Grant. Sent Jeremy Grant to Portland, which is another trade option and another little option that Portland can throw in there along with like Anthony Simons. But they I really was just impressed with the Detroit does. So, just really starting to build off this young core. Now it's about like that player development and those guys gelling and everything. But I'm excited to see what happened. But I was really, really impressed.
I am too, man. I really hope that they can just keep that core together and keep developing it, and not try to blow it up too early because they've got something there. If they can keep all those dudes there for the next 4 years, and just really keep that going, get is Dwayne Casey still the coach?
Yep.
Yep. I think they need to continue with that. Understand that they're young and we don't need to fire the coach. It's going to take time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let's build something. I hate that when you fire a coach, that's like starting from square one, man. You're starting over, So it's but I agree. They got good young talent. They're long and athletic too. They got players that can shoot the ball. That's going to be hopefully down the road a team that could, make some noise, man. It's been fucking forever since LeBron kind of crucified us in 06 or 07. That was the end of the Pistons as we knew it. That was crazy.
I would just be happy. I would be very excited if the Pistons can find a way to be in contention to make it into play-in next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be really excited. It'd be a bit of an improvement, right? If they can start to make that change, it's just going to be tough because Jeremy Grant was just such a reliable guy that we could, go forward to get you 20 points, but then also just be a really good defender. And we lost that. But I'll be interested to see how this thing starts to mold around Cade and Sadiq Bey and Beef Stew and stuff like that. I'll be interested to see. But there's been some of these signings in the free agency have been really weird though too. I didn't understand. Andre Drummond going to the Bulls.
Yeah, it's a weird one for sure.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't get it. And then we even talk about DeJounte Murray getting traded to the Hawks, which
that was bizarre. I agree with you. I
don't think it was bizarre. I love the move by the Hawks.
I do too, but for the Spurs, I just don't understand.
Oh yeah, because it's you just literally
he was the future.
Now who do you have on your team?
Yeah, I don't.
Gallinari, and I think they bought him out. They bought him his contract out, so he's not even staying there. That team is about to plummet.
Well, that was weird too. Speaking of buyouts, the Pistons got Kemba and then bought him out immediately. So I don't know where he's going.
They needed that needed to happen. The market for Kemba has really just started to dwindle down because one, he's consistently got knee issues, and then his play has just been really inconsistent.
It has, and he's a ball dominant player, kind of.
Right, so it's at best he's maybe going to be a backup point guard at this point. And it's okay, how efficient is he going to be able to be in that spot?
And then I think we got oh my God, it's just so sad that you see stories like this, but the Miles Bridges thing is just so disappointing, man. That's just so upsetting. Maybe more so to us because it hits home because he's a Detroit legend kind of now, but it's God damn, bro. You were 2 days away from signing if not a max deal,
contract, bro. He was at least gonna hit close to 190 or something like that, and you went and fucked up the bag, bro.
Yeah, man.
Over probably some dumb shit.
Yep. Yep. So I know they released him, so I don't know what's next for him. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
Hopefully he ain't out here hanging around keep fucking appling, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like for real. Like hopefully that he ain't get caught up and hanging around with that dude. Cause fuck.
Man, all these ex-Spartans, man, crazy shit happening. Yeah, like that's a good point. Appling. Did you say Adrian Payne died like a couple months ago? That was crazy, man. Like he got shot or something. Like, man, Spartans, man. I don't know, but I wonder as far as the Hornets go, if that's gonna take them down because he was their leading scorer last year. I know everyone was so obsessed with LaMelo, but I mean, he was their leading scorer, and he provided a lot, like just athletic wing, like momentum guy,
defender.
Yeah, great defender.
I mean, that connection with him and LaMelo it was a highlight reel.
It was just the off the glass alley oops and all that shit, like it was.
They just connected really well. So
I saw a report that the Hornets want Russ. I don't know if you saw that or I heard that somewhere, or they were like interested in him. But that was like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so I don't know if that's just like phased out and gone, but I did hear that. So I was like,
I don't like it.
I don't either, but as great as a player as MJ was, he's not been the best GM or manager or owner or whatever. So I wouldn't put that past him doing some stupid shit like that. But
I think the hope with the Hornets is that like if Miles Bridges, since they released him, the hope is that they can get Gordon back to a place where he was performing prior to that injury that he had. And, at least getting like, if he can get them 18 to 20 a game, I think.
You're talking about Dragic?
No, I'm talking about Gordon.
Oh, Eric Gordon. Okay. Oh, no, Gordon Hayward. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I forgot he was hurt all last season. I don't even remember seeing him.
Not all last season, but for a good amount, he was just in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
If they can get him consistently just back and performing, like I said, around that 18, maybe 20 points a game, I think that'll give him a boost or whatever. They just.
What happened with Goran Dragic? Because I heard he was going to play with Luka, and then I think he signed somewhere else.
He signed, if I'm not mistaken, he signed with the Bulls as well.
He did. You're right. I was disappointed because I know like that would have been cool to see him and Luka have so much chemistry from playing overseas together, and I know he really wanted him there.
I think you're right, and especially that'd have been a good spot for him, is knowing that they just lost Brunson.
Yep.
Who got a fucking bag. He probably got overpaid.
Yeah.
But New York is like,
he did, dude. I mean, I'm not shitting on the guy because he's played well this season, but like I feel like Brunson's one of those dudes where like it's just happened where he had like an amazing postseason, and like 5 years from now, like no one's gonna even remember who the fuck that dude is. And he just got a stupid bag. But
I mean, he did. I mean, but it's an upgrade because we gotta remember, like who the Knicks literally had
no one.
But
I mean,
they had Kemba.
Yeah. That's true. That didn't work out.
Then it was Evan Fournier. So, like, it's a bit of an upgrade, but we'll have to see. So,
we'll see how it works, though. I mean, he needs the ball in his hands to score. So, I mean, like, maybe if he's going to be a big producer on the offense, I don't know if they're going to play like RJ at the 2 then, or is Brunson going to be the 2? I don't know what goes on.
I think Brunson will probably still play the 1.
Okay.
And then he just, had to evolve. I just really think that they need the Knicks, for me, have to shift their mindset in the fact of thinking that Randall is the key to their offense.
I agree.
He's not. He needs to be a secondary option. They got to find somewhere else to go.
Yeah, I see Rand. I mean, he's a better scorer than Draymond, but I think he's like a Draymond Green type, like glue guy, does everything type of thing. You know what I mean? Like plays with D, can score.
He's just not the defender that Draymond is.
No, but I agree. I don't think he can be your first option either as a scorer. I don't know with the Knicks, man. They just have, since I've been alive, they just have been pretty, lackluster. I wasn't around in the 90s when they were winning. Did they ever win? I know they made that finals with Ewing. I don't think they won, did they?
No. The Knicks haven't won a championship since like fucking Willis Reed.
Jeez, man. Who did they play
with
Ewing in that champion? Who did they lose to? Was it Houston?
Yeah.
That's so wild, man. That was the last time they were like a powerhouse. The whole Anthony or Carmelo Anthony saga didn't work. Like, yeah, they just.
No, I mean, at least they were getting to the playoffs with him and Stat, but.
Yeah. No.
They just been
it's ownership. Dolan is not the dude.
Hopefully they can get some things changed, but I don't know if you heard that they're like the NBA is investigating that signing.
Like for tampering,
So
or what?
because they said it was like potentially like an early signing, but then also like Brunson's dad, if I'm not mistaken, was brought on to the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leon Rose, who I believe is the either GM or the president, is like really good friends with Rick Brunson, who is Jalen Brunson's dad. Like they're really good friends. Like and then their Leon Rose's son is like a player scout for the Knicks, and like so Leon Rose's son and Jalen Brunson like grew up together and like are like best friends. So it's all very intertwined as far as like where he was going to land.
Gotcha. That's very interesting.
I guess they're going to be investigating it, but
tampering is weird, man. Like I get it to an extent, but then there's also things where it's like, oh, sometimes it's almost like I look at it's just like common talk, and you're like, that's considered tampering. But it's like, how do you avoid as a member of a player of a team or a coach or someone in the organization just saying something like, yeah, that's a great player, you know what I mean, or like you know, and then it's like there's that fine line of like what can you say and what you can't say, you know.
So I don't know, I'm really just want to see how the rest of this free agency kind of just falls out, because it's I mean, you have these two major cogs, especially with, like you said, KD being one of these major pieces that can completely shift just, you know, the whole trajectory of a team's outlook for next year. I don't think you've ever seen anything like that before.
No, I mean, as long as you get him on a team with another all-star, I mean, like assuming, you know, their role players aren't complete trash, like they're going to be competing for a title.
They're going to be relevant.
Like, they're going to be relevant at least. Relevant. But so I don't. That's going to be interesting. We'll have to, when like everything settles on that, like go back and do like a way too early, like, you know, predictions and like rankings of where we see everyone, because that'll be that'll be cool for sure.
That would be cool.
Bro, this is so crazy what's going on with Brittney Griner, huh? Sad, man.
It is sad. And, you know, you have people that are just like making the comparisons of like if it was like LeBron or, you know, another high profile male athlete of like, would it have taken this long? I mean, and it's tough to say, right? And I think part of it is that Griner she's been over there before. And one, I think she has to just be cognizant of the fact that like, you know what their laws are around like certain memorabilia or whatever it is. So you got to just be a little bit more cautious around that, right? But then two, I think it also just calls to the fact that like, as far as the WNBA goes, they really have to find a way to kind of level this out to where these players are making more money, because they make a ton more money playing overseas than they do here in the U.S. Right? Like there's, what was it? I think wasn't it like a couple of years ago, Diana Taurasi's team overseas paid her more money to not play in the WNBA for that year.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Right? So it's like in order for like these players not to have to feel like they have to go overseas to really make money, especially make non-tax money, a lot of that money is not even taxed over there. They have to find a way to live to where they're making more money.
I don't disagree with that, but I also think when the comparison comes to like the NBA players, it's also like you got to understand like it's about viewership too, you know. And like I like the WNBA, but it's like, let's be like there's not a lot of people watch it, and that's why NBA players get paid disgusting money is because they get, you know, millions and millions of viewers. So that's part of it. Yeah, it's sad, bro. I mean, that's too bad. I mean, she did break the law, but like it seems like obviously from our eyes, it's a ridiculous thing to possibly have to serve a 10-year
sentence.
Yeah, it's insane
for some cartridges.
Yeah, that's absolutely bullshit. I agree. The thing, like, they are right. Like, if it was LeBron, it would be different. But you got to look at it the other end too. If it was me or you, no, this wouldn't even be a story, and we would just be in jail for 10 years, you know. So it's, I hate to say it, but I'm like kind of, I don't say losing hope, but I'm getting scared. Like it's looking like I don't like unless we can do like a swap or something. Like it looked because she pleaded guilty, didn't she? So
she did. Well, I think she was doing that in the sense of just like you don't want to piss them off.
Of course,
and be like, no, I'm not guilty. Like all that's gonna do is just exasperate this shit. So she's just like, look, I'm pleading at the mercy. It was an honest mistake. I did not mean to.
Yeah, man.
And like just trying to just beg for mercy, like get me the fuck up out of here.
Right.
Because I was also reading around the fact that like there also is I don't know if it was a reporter or someone else that is also over in Russia that's been over there for like 2 years now.
Yep.
And they're trying to find ways to potentially even get that guy home as well. And like you said, like he doesn't have that notoriety that Brittney Griner has, but like her case is kind of bringing in light to some attention to his as well. So
that's good.
It sucks that it's involved in this case, and hopefully it can just get resolved because I can only imagine what she's having to go through.
Right, man. And her family, I think she's got kids, and a wife. Like it's like that's terrible, bro. Absolutely terrible. I don't know. Hope it gets resolved. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any big NFL news? Like, I don't really fucking know.
I mean, hell yeah, it's the biggest.
I mean, probably since the last time we've talked. Yeah, that's a good point.
You ain't see that Baker got traded to the Panthers?
Oh, yeah, that's exciting for me, bro. I'm happy as a Saints fan there. They can have Baker. That's cool. Well, I shouldn't say that. We don't know. Baker he was injured. So, like, in the season before, he played well. So, like, I think we are a little critical on him, or as far as just the mass majority of sports observers, but, like, he could have a bounce back year. I just don't think the Panthers have a good roster. But
I mean, they outside of Robbie Anderson, I don't know what other receivers that they have. So, maybe they can get another year back. But I mean, also too, we have to understand that like Darnold is still there. So like he's gonna have to beat him out for that.
That is true.
For that, right? I don't think they're just gonna give it to him. Like he's gonna have to beat Darnold for that. Thing now, granted, the belief is that he probably will, but
I would hope
we don't know.
We don't, but
we don't know who's going to show up because
we don't.
Darnold is not just. I think Darnold has the arm talent, but I think both him and I don't know if Baker has the arm talent that Darnold has, but they both seem to struggle with decision making.
Definitely. That's such a mess, man. Like I hope, like, again, if I don't really have much faith in Darnold, I do agree that he has arm strength, but it doesn't seem like over the sample size I've seen that he's able to take a team to, for like a deep playoff run. We did see Baker just do it 2 years ago, so it's like, granted, the team was really good. I don't know. I just that team, like, the Panthers. That I don't really see them making much noise. Like, just everything else is not. It's not in place for them to, especially in that division. That division's getting, we got the Bucks and the Saints are clearly playoff teams to say the least. So I don't see them making much noise. But that is interesting and it's surprising because I think Deshaun's going to be suspended for the year. So it's like, what are they going to do at quarterback?
Well, they picked up who's Jacoby Brissett.
Did they?
I believe so.
Gotcha.
So they
picture those conversations, just like you haven't been to any massage parlors, right? Like, okay, good. That's the first thing we're asking now. They gotta. That's in the conversation.
I'm not about to fuck around with it. Well, did you see about the fact that like there were reports that like they're actually some of these cases are including the Texans into some of these civil lawsuits because they're like they knowingly were providing him with massage therapists,
right, like enabling him. Yeah,
right. So they're including them into the lesson. So it'd be interesting to see, man. To be real, and I mean, but that's the reason why they set that contract up like that too, right? He's only making $1 million this year, and then he still gets the rest of that money. So like. They were smart. They knew what they were getting into, They're like, look, we just need to make it past this year. Once we make it past this year, then we should be solid.
Smooth sailing.
But it's be interesting to see like at the NBA or at the NFL, suspend some more than just a season.
I mean, that would be kind of unheard of, but considering Calvin Ridley just got a year for $1,500 of gambling, like, I mean, you know, anything could happen. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen more than a year?
Accusation.
I don't know if I've ever seen more of a year suspension, but
no, I haven't seen. But like, just with the era, the age that we're in, and the accusations and the number of accusations that were made.
Yeah, seriously,
I wouldn't. If it happened, I would not be surprised. Though I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Right?
They were like,
you think he'll get a year?
A year just isn't enough. I think at
like
the minimum he'll get a year.
Yeah,
at the year he'll get a year. It's just to see like, are they going to extend it further on than that?
I mean, at that point, is there any worry that because he didn't play it all last season? Is there any worry at that point that like, I mean, I know he's young, but like, is there any worry that like he's not going to be the same Deshaun coming back, just not playing for 2 years?
I don't think so.
No.
I think there's still ways because I think the Texans kind of helped him away, but maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know this. Maybe somebody in the comments can let us know, but around whether or not if you're suspended, if you're still allowed to kind of go to like a training facility.
It's interesting. It's a good point. I'm not sure.
Because I honestly, I don't know if that's the case where like you can still go and I mean, of course, you're not going to be able to participate in practices, but at least just get some workouts in, work with the trainers and stuff like that. Or like, are you completely cut off from all like facility access and stuff like that? Like, I don't know how that works. So somebody let us know, but I'll be interested to see. But I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be fine because it's not an injury thing.
Right. That's a good point. Has there been any other moves?
None that I really heard of us outside of Baker, which I think that was a long thing that was kind of like lingering around what was going to happen with that. Right. The other thing is that Madden ratings have come out and Trent Williams got added to the Madden 99 club.
Who did?
Trent Williams.
That's deserved.
For sure.
Yeah,
definitely deserved. I mean, dude is a beast, bro.
Did they all come out, or are they doing that thing where they release like a new player every day?
I think they're releasing like a new player. Yeah. So, but yeah, he got added to that club. So of course, I'm sure we'll still see. I'd be surprised if. Why am I drawing the blank on the guy? I do this every fucking time.
So lineman who?
Do for the Rams.
Aaron Donald?
Yeah. I'm sure Donald will probably still be on there.
Yeah. Mahomes, probably Aaron Rodgers since he just won MVP again.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
He ran it the year before and wasn't a 99.
That's a good point. So I
don't know if he'll get it, but
receiver wise, who do you think's going to be in there? I mean, I don't even know. I'm thinking about it. Like who? Cooper Kupp, is he going to be a 99?
I would assume that Devontae will be.
Yeah.
Adams will be. I don't know if Kupp will be.
Yeah.
I think his rank can be up there, but I don't think it'll be a 99. For sure, I think Adams will be. I don't know if Hop will be because he's injured. He may come down a little bit, but.
Yeah, I don't think he will be either.
You see any running backs? That's the question. Like if they need his running back. The only one I can maybe think of would maybe be Taylor, but I don't know if he can get a 99 rating.
Derrick Henry, maybe not because he got injured. But like I think he was last year.
Yeah, Henry was 99 last year. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
No,
that's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I'm excited for football season. That'll be cool.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we do our review of each of the divisions.
Yes,
like we did last year. Just talk about all the different trades and everything.
For sure.
What we predict for each of those teams. So
we will definitely do.
But we got a couple of things that I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The fight of the year is not happening. I know you're sad.
So I was going to bring that up. It's funny you said that. You know, at this point though, I'm kind of on Jake Paul's side. I'm like, what the fuck is Tommy Fury doing, bro? Like, I don't know if like what the.
I mean, it's not his fault. It's literally not his fault. Like, if he can't get in, he can't get in.
I guess. I guess.
What is he supposed to do?
Right. But it's just looking. I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. I'm like, why don't they they can make this work? Like I like Jake, go over there. I don't know. Like it's driving me crazy.
That's what Fury said. Like we can go. He's like, you don't even have to come here. We can go be somewhere neutrally.
Mm-hmm.
And and I guess that just wasn't the play because I'm trying to figure out because he's trying to find like another.
He's fighting Hasim Rahman's son now. I don't know if you know who that is. That's a heavyweight from the 90s. He knocked out Lennox Lewis and took the heavyweight title.
Yeah, so, I remember that.
Which was like his one-hit wonder because Lennox knocked him out in the next fight and took him back. But still, like that's pretty.
Hold
impressive.
on, was that the fight where he had that big old nugget on?
No, but that was also Hassan Rahman. He got knocked the fuck out. Yeah,
I remember that.
That's him.
That's all I remember.
That's him. So it's his son. Now, according to Jake, and I've been doing research on Boxing Rec, and I'm not finding this, but he says Hassan Rahman has fought 100 amateur fights. I can't find anything on that, like proving that. If that's true, that's pretty scary for Jake. I don't think that's legitimate because I've been looking and like on Boxing Rec and I can't find that anywhere. But that's pretty dangerous if that were to be true. It's dangerous in general though. I do give respect to Jake Paul. Like this dude's got 12 pro fights. Granted, you know, at that point usually you're fighting not the best talent, but this dude's clearly like in a boxing family. He's been doing it his whole life. Like this is it's a legitimate boxer. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I'm gonna watch it. That's for sure. It's gonna be
definitely interesting to see. I'm trying to see because I'm looking on ESPN now to kind of see. So they said Rahman lost his last fight.
Yeah, to Tommy Morrison's son.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was a 5-round stop. So I don't know, but there's some good fights that are coming up though. You got Canelo and Triple G again in September.
Shit. I just those ones are just, you know, it bothers me just because I didn't like how they were judged the first 2 times around. So at this point, it's like, yeah, Canelo can win, but like I just feel like justice wasn't served in the other fights. So I'm just like turned off by that, you know. And Triple G's pretty old now. He's like 39, 40. So you would expect Canelo to make light work of that. We'll see. I'm still just like anticipating this Crawford Spence announcement. Like I you know, you keep hearing rumors that it's like they're just dotting T's and crossing I's on the contract, but like it hasn't been announced. So I'm like, where the fuck is this, man? Like, we need this. Yeah, that would be.
And then you got the Usyk and Joshua in August.
That'll be a good fight. That'll be cool.
It is.
What do you think the stakes of that are? Like at that point, if Joshua loses, like I don't know. Like that's
bro, just at this point, bro, it's just gonna be out here being a random prize fighter because like clearly you lost your luster, bro.
Right. This is huge for him. This is like everything.
Like he had, because at this point he loses again. He is. I feel like it's gonna be a it's gonna be a situation where like he just kind of goes into hiding.
But no matter who wins that fight, it will be very interesting if Tyson decides to unretire and fight them for the undisputed in either of those situations. Because if it's Usyk, he's undefeated. He's like the cruiserweight version of Tyson Fury, just moves well, good boxer. Like, I don't know how that would go. I would like to think Fury would just beat him because he's stronger and have more length, but Usyk's a sly dog. And then if it's Joshua, yeah, he's lost twice, but he's avenged both those losses if he wins. And that's the fight that everyone had wanted to see in the UK for like the last 6 years. So
I think if there's a fight that would bring him out, it would be the Joshua fight, just because of I think he can have it at Wembley.
So you don't think that he'd get up for Usyk? That's just not interested. Yeah.
No,
I don't disagree with that.
With Joshua, I think it would, just because it'd be 2 Brits going at it in Wembley, and the amount of money that can be made off of that.
That might be the biggest fight in UK history, honestly. Like that,
for real.
Like that would be, yeah, you're right. At Wembley, that would be pretty crazy. I don't think Tyson Fury could turn that down now that I'm thinking about it. If Joshua wins,
there's no way.
Like,
it's just too much. Just from the north. Just for him to say that, like, he could probably literally go, so that way he can clearly just take his claim, which he already has it. It's not even he already has the fact, like, I'm the first British fighter ever. Like, for him to, like, literally just cement it, that, like, there's no doubt.
Right.
So,
that would be so cool. I would love to see that, man. That would be fucking awesome. I'd like to see either, but I you know, now that you're saying that, I kind of agree with you. I don't know if Fury would be interested in Usyk if Usyk won. Like, I mean, I think it'd be a good fight as a boxing fan, but just I don't know what numbers that really does, and it should do a ton because it's the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. But you'd think that would almost undersell because it's like Usyk isn't some huge household name.
Right.
So
Right. Right. So
Wilder's supposed to come back. I saw that. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that.
I don't think like something's announced, but he has announced like he's fighting again. Like he will fight one more time at least. But I don't think a fight has been made. Andrew Ruiz is fighting Luis Ortiz. That'll be a good fight.
That would be a good fight. That would be. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah, heavyweight division's going, man. And I don't know now what's next for like that whole lightweight situation. If like Loma's gonna throw his name back in the hat and challenge Devin Haney now that he's got all the belts, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know what's next there. Who's Haney's
what's
next?
What's next coming fighting? In a couple of weeks here, Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia's fighting again?
Yeah, him and Jose Benitez Jr.
Okay. Yeah, Benitez just had a win. It was actually here. He was in Phoenix. He just fought like a month or two ago, but he won.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably why. Yeah, man, I'm hoping we had a really good year of boxing this year, so I'm really hoping like this next year's, we continue that same momentum because I don't know. Again, the biggest thing that can be made is Crawford Spence, and like I don't know.
We need that.
We need it.
We need that. We need it. We need it. That needs to happen.
Yeah.
I got one last thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why Vince McMahon over here paying off people so that way they don't go and tell his business that he was over there having extramarital affairs? I don't even know if he married, but let's just say that he would.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. That's a very good question. More and more have came out too, because initially it was just one, and then it was like, I'm not surprised. I don't know why. Like
it's like in tune of like $12 million he's paid out for hush money, bro.
Yeah, that just looks shady,
It dude. It doesn't surprise me that this has come out. Like I'm surprised it doesn't come out more often with some of these the sports owners, but
yeah, I don't know, dude. He resigned, right, or he stepped down?
He stepped away. His daughter, what's his name? Stephanie? Is it Stephanie?
Yeah, Stephanie is running it.
Yeah, she stepped in and is kind of leading the way, but like. Why?
I don't know, man. Some of these dudes, I don't. Maybe not so much him to the same extent, but even him, he's famous and he's rich. Like a lot of these dudes, I look at them like, you have like your pick of the litter of like. There's girls probably lined up that want to be with you. I don't know if some of it for them is like they want what they can't have, or like it's more fun for them, like doing something that they know is wrong because it's a power thing. I don't understand.
I think that's more so it than anything. It's like just power. They're so used to having it, and getting their way that they're like, I can do whatever.
Yeah.
But when I saw him, like, bro, they have got to be. And you just start to think like, there's no way that your ego can be that big.
Yeah, it can though.
Clearly,
not like me and you. But I was just talking to someone about that the other day. It's like, can you imagine being at like a party out in like the Hollywood Hills with like some of these like A-listers and stuff like that? I feel like if one of us were there and you were just like a fly on the wall or walking around, like the conversations had there, you'd be like, you guys aren't even like human beings. Like this is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, they're so far removed from like what reality is that like, I don't even know. I would hope that you could.
Those conversations are not the same.
Right. Like they're like, what are they talking about? Like it's, they probably got their whole other thing going on.